Hey guys, welcome back to Transformers G1 for Life, where I talk about G1 toys and related cartoon continuity. It's January 8th, 1986, it's towards the end of the second season. You watch Transformers every day, and yesterday the Combaticons were introduced as a new Decepticon combiner team. Well, right in the beginning of today's episode, the Revenge of Bruticus, Optimus Prime blows our minds.
Attention, Protectobots!
Attention, Protectobots. That's followed up by 5 new Autobots coming out of Sparkplug's garage, including our first on-screen Autobot motorcycle and helicopter. Every kid's mind is blown. Who are these guys? This is a game changer. Who are the Protectobots? Well, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment as we talk about this new combiner team. This episode gives us a good idea. They are an emergency response team and they're based in the city, sort of a precursor to the Transformers Prime spin-off, the Rescue Bots, even having one character share a name. On a side note, leave me a comment about what you think of the Rescue Bots theme song. I thought it was pretty awesome. They're seen doing typical emergency services stuff, so they're evacuating citizens in danger, putting out fires, rescuing farmers, trying to cool things down, as in this episode, the sun is getting too close to Earth.
They'll be fine, at least till the ice melts.
We get to hear and see a few of them in robot mode, but we never actually learn their names or if they have any other special abilities in this episode, which in hindsight is a little odd considering that the Combaticons are the antagonists, but Starscream was able to help with that by pointing out 3 small plot armor spots on the back of Bruticus that Optimus Prime promptly shot. But I guess they were just building some suspense for the next episode, B.O.T, that aired the next day, where the Protectobots return. So right in the beginning of this episode, Defensor shows up, and we aren't yet told that this is the Protectobot combiner team. You can kind of tell if you look at the limbs. He ends up blowing up Bruticus in the beginning here. And basic summary of this episode, Swindle wants spare parts to repair the Combaticons, but for some reason the price of those parts is to give this evil guy the Combaticon components, making repairing them impossible. Now Megatron wants to blow up the moon and control the oceans, but is mad that the Combaticons are now gone, so Soundwave puts a bomb in Swindle's head and he is forced to repair the team. And the only hiccup is that Brawl's personality component is missing and they can't form Bruticus. So now enter the subplot of 2 hooligan high school students and Elise Presser. They are fortunate enough to get to witness the Protectobots in action as they put out a fire.
Wow! Say, you know what we ought to do for the science project?
What?
Build our own robot!
Impressed after seeing the Protectobots in action, they decide to build their own robot. They find Brawl's personality component in a junkyard and they use that. Their robot is called Biotronic Operational Telecommunicator, or B.O.T for short, hence the title of this episode. B.O.T was inherently destructive thanks to Brawl's personality component, so the kids try to get the help of the Protectobots, but instead they get Bumblebee, Ironhide, and Gears, who don't have much luck. Swindle ends up getting the personality component back, and now Megatron can move on with his plan to control the oceans. The kids track down Brawl, they tell the Autobots, and they contact the Protectobots, because
Only Defensor can stand against Bruticus. Ironhide, contact the Protectobots.
The Autobots need us!
battle ensues, the Protectobots show up to save the day, and they transform into Defensor on Prime's command with a cool visual and sound effect.
Protectobots, transform to Defensor!
They do get taken down pretty fast, and it was actually the kids and their robot B.O.T that saved the day, but it's still a cool introduction of an Autobot combiner team. Not as detailed or focused as the Aerial Bots intro, but it's still cool, and a much needed addition to the Autobots to help even the odds, as the Decepticons already have 3 combiner teams at this point. So these are the figures that I recently got, all the Protectobots. Just going to go through them one by one, read off their tech specs. Streetwise is an Interceptor. You have to know where you are before you know what to do. Nothing escapes his notice, amazing capacity to adapt to understand his environment, clever and determined. Nothing deters him from seeking his prey except an empty fuel tank. As a car, has powerful double-mounted air compressor cannon with 50-mile range. As a robot, uses blinding photon pistol. Sometimes overheats as a car. First aid is a doctor. An ounce of maintenance is worth a pound of cure. He hates seeing any machine in pain, even those who don't know it, like a broken street lamp or an overheated car. He is compassionate and cautious. He'll restrict an Autobot to the repair bay for a faulty directional signal. Carries dual-barrel decrystallizer cannon. Weakens metal by disrupting crystalline structure and photon pistol. His fists shoot laser beams that he uses for welding during surgery. Groove is the scout. War is a problem, never a solution. A full tank, clear skies, open road. That's all he wants out of life. Relaxed, easygoing, happy wherever he is. He is a pacifist. Difficult for him to accept his role as part of the Protectobot team. His speed is 140 miles per hour. Range is 800 miles. Uses twin vaporators, which shoots mist of oxidizing, freezing, and corrosive liquids, and photon pistol. So it's interesting that he's the pacifist. We never really get that impression in the cartoon. Blades. His function is air support. War is a dirty game, and I'm a dirty player. Basically a street fighter, prefers using rotor blades for slashing Decepticons rather than for flying. Wow, that's pretty ruthless. Considers long-range air attacks unsporting and cowardly. His maximum speed is 400 miles per hour, range 1,200 miles, uses twin launchers that fire smart rockets and seek targets based on encoded computer images, and uses photon pistol. Hotspot is the Protectobot leader. Rust never sleeps, and neither do I. Likes to be where the action is. He's charismatic, inspiring. Other Protectobots have difficulty keeping up with his nonstop pace. Believes in being maximally operational every moment of one's life. His fire truck hose shoots high pressure water 1,200 feet. As a robot, compress 60,000 pounds. Uses fireball cannons that shoot bursts of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Blue flame, 1.5 miles. So just like all the other combiner teams, except for the Constructicons, the smaller guys are a little bit more generic because they're made to fit any combiner team. These ones are unique because we do get the first Autobot helicopter and motorcycle, which I mentioned earlier. Alright, so now I'm going to transform them into Defensor. A unique feature of Hotspot is that Defensor's head is actually a part of Hotspot, whereas on the combiner leaders for any other combiner team, the head is a separate piece that would then slip over the top of the leader's head, but that is not the case with the Protectobots. So that head is a part of Hotspot's body. You just kind of turn it around, and then there it is. I think that's really cool that that's included and it's not a separate piece, so please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about that. If I had one critique on it, I think that Defensor's head is just slightly too small. If you were to compare it to some of the other combiners' head, it's just smaller. So would have been nice if it could have been slightly bigger while still being included as a part of Hotspot's body. So after B.O.T, which was the last episode of Season 2, the next thing was the movie, and of course they did not appear in the movie. If you were a new character in Season 2, most likely you weren't going to be in the movie because the production of Season 2 and the movie, I believe, were going on at the same time. They did, however, survive the events of the movie because in Season 3, you would see them from time to time as background characters. Occasionally, Hotspot would get more screen time, like in Fight or Flight, he was a part of a strike force to liberate Sandstorm and the rest of the Autobots in Paradron. You would also see him fighting alongside Ultra Magnus in Carnage in C Minor, and also the Season 4 episode Rebirth Part 3. Defensor would also make a handful of appearances throughout the rest of the series. Now, First Aid got a spotlight episode in the Season 3 episode Ultimate Weapon, and the entire team got some good screen time as well in the Return of Optimus Prime Part 1. And we'll take a look at those episodes in a minute. So here he is, Defensor in all his glory. I really like this combiner a lot. Maybe one of my favorites. I like the colors and how everything kind of goes together. He's also a bit smaller than some of the other ones. Like if he was side by side with Superion, he's definitely smaller. But I like it. It makes him seem like he's more muscular and stronger. Like Superion just looks like he has chicken legs. But this guy looks like he is pretty tough. And again, like I said, I really like that head. I wish the head maybe just could have been slightly bigger. But other than that, I think this is really awesome. Leave me some comments and let me know your thoughts on Defensor.
We now return to the Transformers.
So Season 3, Episode 20, The Ultimate Weapon, is the last episode where we really get a focus on the Protectobots, and there's a lot going on here. Not only is First Aid having issues, but so is Rodimus. It's more the same from him, I guess, second-guessing himself and having no confidence as a leader. This episode opens up with what looks to be French people fighting others, and First Aid is questioning why humans are always fighting. Rodimus orders them out to help as they were requested by the police to be there. The Protectobots do help the situation, but not before Blades goes down. First Aid takes Blades to Metroplex for repair. Meanwhile, Swindle breaks into Metroplex and steals Metroplex's transforming cog. First Aid tries to talk Swindle out of it, and this is where we find out that it is First Aid who is the pacifist and not Groove, as the tech spec suggests. Everyone is understanding of First Aid basically being a conscientious objector, at least in this episode. But he still decides to leave the Autobots because he feels he doesn't fit in.
I don't fit in with the rest of you. I'm not a fighter. I'm leaving.
The rest of the team do try their best, but Defensor with just one arm isn't the same. First Aid is needed here because he's the only one who knows enough about Metroplex's inner workings in order to put the transforming cog back correctly. So now you have Spike and Daniel who steal Trypticon's cog, and then First Aid is hiding out in a junkyard repairing broken refrigerators. Hot Spot finally convinces him to come back because they have plenty of warriors but only one First Aid, and that is what they need to save them. So First Aid comes back, he fixes the cog, which is actually Trypticon's cog now installed in Metroplex, and he realizes that he belongs with the Autobots. And that's about all we see of the Protectobots in the series, so let me know in the comments your thoughts on this team. And to wrap this up, we're actually going to look at Hotspot again. Being the combiner leader, he actually has two more transformations. One is an emergency carrier mode. And the second is a repair bay that can connect to Metroplex. And there we have it. I think that's pretty cool. So that's all from me on the Protectobots today. So please like, subscribe, leave me some comments, transform, and roll out.